All right, today we're going to do some work with what App State calls A-portfolios. A little more commonly, they're called ePorts for electronic portfolios. At App State University, we kind of customize that and call them A-ports. We pay a company called Digication to host those A-ports. So today we're going to create a new A-portfolio. We're going to rename a page on the A-port. We're going to add pages to an A-port. And we're going to post an assignment I call a reflection on the writing territories. We're going to add images to that page. We're going to publish it. We're going to make sure the settings list the Eport in the directory and that it's public to those at App State University. So an easy starting place in the courses I teach, if we go to the torg.com, which I mostly use because it's easy to remember. Here's my website. I can go over here. Do you have class at App State with Torg? That's me. You click there. We're taken to this page, which I use as kind of this is a Digication page. I'm going to go to course resources, and I can log into A-portfolios and Digication. And so I need to log in. And here we are. And I'm looking to create a new Eport. I think if I go to ePortfolios, here's a tab, and you can find this tab on other places. I'm going to create a new Aportfolio. And so I want you to name your portfolio your last name and summer 2019 Torg, and that just sort of lets me know if I have to look at this later. Let's say you want a letter of recommendation or something, I can find you a little bit more quickly, and you may end up making more than one Aport, and this will tell me if this is the one you made in this class. And so I want to create from a blank template. No, I don't. I want to create from scratch. And I'm going to stay away from some of that stuff. And down at the bottom right, just out of the window of where I'm recording, where that blue square is, there's a create button. And so the Aport is created. And let's change the settings before I forget. So if I go to settings, I don't want this to be private to me. I want it to be private within Appalachian State University. My particular Aport is public. I had to write someone and request that, and then I do want it to show in the directory. Otherwise, I'll be looking for your assignments and I won't be able to find you. Again, in the lower right hand corner, there's a box that says save settings. So now we have a public Aport. So this says home, and we're going to change home to say reflective letter, and we're going to create a new page that's going to be called writing territories reflection. And so there's boxes over here to do some unlocking. What's a little bit tricky is this icon shows up for the different levels of the Aport. So maybe one for the header, one for the page, one for the content module. So that can be a little bit confusing on which of the unlocks you need. So I'm going to go unlock there. Then I have to hover here, and I'm looking for that button right there, which is hard to click. I think if I make this box a little bigger, I'll be able to do it. So there is the edit button for this menu. And if I had a module down here, there would be a different edit button for that. So I'm hitting the edit button, and I'm going to change this home to reflective letter. You're going to finish the course writing a reflective letter about your work in the class, so that's good. And then down here, let me make this box just a little bit smaller, add a new page, and my new page is going to be writing territories reflection. And so I haven't actually added the page yet. I got to hit save. And then something that's good to do every once in a while is up here in the right, you can hit publish page. I usually just hit publish pages. Things that haven't been published yet are in green, and so I've published nothing yet. I published that. I save settings, and now this stuff has been published. And so if I, as the instructor of the course, visit your portfolio, I'll be able to see this stuff. And so once you share a link with me, any changes you make on the Aport, you don't need to resubmit any links to me. It will be there. Okay, so we're on the reflective letter page. I don't have that yet. And so now we have the writing territories reflection, and I need to create a module, if that's the right word, to put content in. And so I'm going to add content, and I'm going to choose a text box, and I'm going to choose rich text. And so here's that. And now I have already written my writing territories. I tend to write in a Google Doc, and then I go to the Google Doc, so I always have it no matter what computer I'm on. Can't lose it. Computer crashes, still have it. So I'm going to write, I have my writing territories in a Google Doc. I wrote probably more than you. I'm going to copy this, which are my, there's my writing territories down there. So I have copied that, and I need to go back to my module, and I'm right-clicking and pasting, and then sometimes I can't see all of my text and write in here. Here I'll show you. If I make this smaller on purpose, now I've cut off some of my text. I see that some when I work with students, and if I hover over that, auto resize, it'll make it a size that lets me see all my text. Now, one thing I have students do that's, I wouldn't say a hard and fast rule, but in online writing, generally you don't see indented paragraphs. What you see is an extra space between paragraphs. I think one thing you have to think about is if you're an instructor who assigns research papers and now they're online, or you're a student who used to turn in pieces of paper and now you're doing things online, how does format change in the digital space? So just for starters, one thing I have students do, I'm just going to go through here and put an extra space in between all of my paragraphs. And I think that makes it easier to read. Okay. And I'd like to give this writing territories assignment a title. Sometimes I have to come over here and hit this edit button again. There we go. And so a little bit confusing. You're looking for what looks to me like a palette, like you would paint with. Not that I've ever painted with a palette. My font is 18 point. I like bigger. I'm just clicking on these and reading them, and bigger is often better in this case. So I'm centering that, and I kind of know some things I wrote about. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to write real quick, think of something that's kind of interesting in my reflections. I'm going to say 3 jobs in 3 years, reflections on my writing territories. And I, talk about a lot of stuff, and I don't necessarily focus just on the 3 jobs in 3 years, but that's sort of something that's kind of interesting in here that might get potential readers' attention. Okay, so I've got this, and I want to add some images. So let's do the sort of shorter, quicker thing first. I need to include some images, and I need to make space for images. And 2 really obvious things to do to me are to move the text over to the side and put images on the right, or to do multiple text boxes and put images big in the middle, which I tend to like the best. And then don't forget, I have to publish this and turn that link in. But let's just move it over to the left first. So I hit this move button, I get this arrow going in 4 directions, and I can slide this over to the edge where that dotted line is. And then I also can, when I get just the 2 arrows, shrink it a little room for images. And so now I want the images to work with the text. And so I talked about, let's see, playing basketball, going on adventures with my daughters, coaching my daughters' travel teams. And so I have some pictures. So before I started the video, I came up with some pictures I thought I could use. So and maybe I'll just go through those real quick here. So there's our team. That's me over here on the right. This is a picture of a hike by Moses Cone Park. This is the view off the front porch of our new house, and this tree is going to get cleaned up soon. There's my kids, my daughters, Isabel on the left, Charlotte on the right. This is, what's that place called again? The gym across from the App State football field. We go in there to work out a lot. It's not so busy. Here we are at Grandfather Mountain. 3 moves in 3 years. There's my daughter Isabel with the moving truck at the rental. Hiking Linco Viaduct when it's closed in the winter. Rafting the French Broad River. There I am at, not quite, I guess it's Harper Creek area. I might have to look that up again. So I like the one with the girls working out. And so I can just drag that. This is an apple. I can just drag that over to the right. And then it gets thrown in at the bottom because it's too big to fit here. The other thing I could have done was hit this plus sign to add content, which I'll show you here in a second. So I have to make this smaller so that it fits in over on the right. I think that's going to do it. I hit that move sign. Here I go. That's going to work. And then this is a little tedious to get it to drag up here. And then sometimes the picture is so obvious that you probably don't need to caption it, but I like to caption it. Here's this auto resize, it sometimes looks like I crop the image, but I need to hit auto resize so it's all in there. And so I have to hit this edit button. I actually don't have a caption yet, but you have to hit edit caption, and I'll put my girls ready for hoops workout, and I could center that. Oh yeah, and I could center that with this palette, especially if I have it highlighted, but that worked. So there they are, and it does kind of cover up part of the picture, which in this case doesn't matter because of what the picture is. Sometimes students will add another little text box and not use this one. And then let's add one more picture a different way. Quick look at changing background colors, and then you'll at least have a pretty good start on the ePorts. So I write a little bit about President Trump here. I was sort of torn whether I was going to say anything about that. I write about family adventures, and anytime I want to add something, sound file, embed a video, image, I can just hit this blue plus button. So I hit the plus button. I want to add an image, and I'm going to upload that file. And so I put my images in my documents, and I made a new folder called blog website images to work with. And then that waterfall climb is right there. And I'm going to upload that. And I have to change that size again. Hit the move button. And I'm going to have to look up where this is. But I think I'm right, but I'll fix it if I'm not. Hiking, Harper. So I'm going to add the word me, grammatically incorrect, but informal, like I like it on this Writing Territories page. Me hiking, Harper Creek Wilderness area. And I want to center that. Good. And then it's a little barren over here on the right. We're a little bit limited. Digication can do so much, but this gets done in class what you want done. And then if I want to start changing colors, background colors, I can go to that and, background color, bottom layer, background color. And I can do that same thing for the different levels of the portfolio. So right here is the gear. So that would change. It looks the same, but it would change the background and padding here. And then finally, for this individual module, same thing. That's how so on each level of the Digication A portfolio, you can change those colors. Okay, so I've got this page ready to turn in. Don't forget, I want to publish pages and see my writing territories reflection isn't published. I hit publish, and now I just copy that up there from the top, my web address. I'll copy that, paste it into As You Learn. Done. So hopefully this helps. Hope I didn't miss a step. Writing territories, Digication, Aport. Looking forward to working with you guys. All right, take care.